Good morning, you beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Today, I want to talk about why Aachen is my least favorite map in Call of Duty World War II. So we're starting things off over here on this side of the map. You can see we're on the top side of the map, and I'm going to be exploring this area right here. This area I consider a spawnable space. Right here, this is all, whoever's spawning here has this map control. These little routes over here, this sort of stuff in here, in my opinion, doesn't matter. We are sitting here, and this is oftentimes where people will spawn in. See this little building? Who knew this was here? I didn't know that was there just because it's not being used. This little space back over here, this little table, this little corner, and this you're spawning in here, you're not using it. Unless you're playing free-for-all, you're not using this space. This big gap in the middle, that's really not useful for anything. All these interesting things are not useful. Why is that? Because it's so open. This is what I would consider the middle of the map right here. All of this inside buildings right here, plus this kind of middle outside area up to about here, this is what I would consider middle of the map. This area right here, I think that's where we would all consider the middle of the map. There are interesting lines of sight. There are interesting ways of going about this map. There's interesting pieces of cover, elevations. I really like the middle of this map. However, all of that interestingness, all of that sort of fight for map control is gone as soon as you walk out here, because from this area, from the middle of the map right here, you can see everything. Now you might think, oh, that's good for snipers, but that's not good for map control because they're spawning literally right here, and there's nowhere to fight. There's nowhere to fight to get to the middle of the map. And once you're in the middle of the map, that's basically it. You have these interesting lines of sight. If you push up any farther, then you have an issue like we have in the USS Texas, where, we're here on the other side of the map. That was really fast. This map is rather physically large, but it's not that large in terms of what really matters in terms of gameplay and map control, because you have this middle area which people are fighting over. But that's it, because as soon as they spawn in this huge area here, or in this huge area here, they already have that map control. That map control is theirs. So if you highlight this stuff, this area, that's 2/3 of this map that people just don't play in. People just don't fight in. And if they do, it's people coming from the middle of the map. In order to fix this, in order to make this better, what I would do in theory is I would make more walls here. I would make more pieces of cover. I would cut off this huge lines of sight right here. I would cut it off with a wall here. I'd cut this off with a wall here. Theoretically speaking, practically speaking, I don't know exactly what I would do. You know, this guy, I think I would close off right here. I think I would add a building or something in here. I would close this off. I would add a building or something, so that when people spawned in, this would be a meaningful fight. If this was cut off here, or if something was cut off here, this would be an impactful fight. You would actually care if you got pushed up all the way to here. But seeing as it is now, you spawn, you just get this map control. You just push up to here. It's not a fight to get to here. I want there to be some struggle. I want there to be somewhat of a fight to get that middle of the map, sort of like Gibraltar sort of has. Like I said, they've done some really good things, especially with the update that they did, especially over here on this side of the map. You used to be able to see everything from here, but you can see they cut off a lot of things right here. They've made this really interesting, and they've made it so that you can't just sit here. There's a piece of cover here. You could sit here and just head glitch each other and fight each other here, but they've made it so where you can kind of shotgun, you can kind of push your way through these tight little close quarters and make your way through closer to here. It's really, really nice. They need to do more of that. They need to do more of that over here. They need to make sure that if you push up here, you still have pieces of cover all the way to here, that the spawns rotate, kind of like how they do on Octane and Call of Duty Ghosts. Have a fight to where if they're over here, they can still be spawning over here. Put more pieces of cover, put more buildings over here, put more even lanes, even routes. Do something with this back room. Make this back room important. Make this doorway go out to the side of the map. Make this doorway go out to the side of the map so that people are still fighting for this area. This is not a bad area in terms of lines of sight or even the fact that it's open. It's the fact that it's the spawning space and it's so open. It's the fact that as soon as I spawn here, I'm going to shoot anybody that comes my way in this open area from the middle of the map. There's not enough actual substance to this map. It's just spawn, middle of the map, and then other spawn. It's just spawn, middle of the map, other spawn. There's not a lot of interesting fights going on in between here where we have the actual ability to. If you wanted to do something crazy, I know this was what they did in Ghosts, and it's probably not going to be a great idea, but if you take a map maybe like Flooded or a map like Siege, I know Siege was like the worst map ever, but if you extend this down here and you have another building back here to fight in, to fight through, getting to this open area would be rewarding, would be cool, and then you can come back into this little area, fight into the back spawn. I don't know, there's lots of stuff that would make this map a little bit better. I don't think this map is inherently just trash and garbage, but the way it plays, the way it flows is just not fun to me because you rush to the middle because you automatically have this map control and you just fight over this little area and there's not a lot of substance to it. There's not a lot of interesting flank routes or engagements to get into once you've played this map once or twice before. As far as my opinion is concerned, Aachen is by far not some of the worst maps we've ever seen in Call of Duty history. However, I do believe it is of the weakest, in my opinion, my least favorite of the entirety of the World War II game as it is. I want to open up this as a discussion for map design and everybody in general. What do you think they could do with Aachen? In my opinion, like I've said before, there's just not a lot of substance here. I wish they added more substance to the map, more physical map area, more interesting stuff to the middle of the map. Not even to the middle of the map, more of the middle of the map, a bigger middle of the map, because right now we have 2/3 of a map which is just meant for spawning, which is not really that interesting to me. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, leave a like if you like this format of me going through these maps and kind of giving you an in-depth look at strategy. I know we've got people for in-depth weapons and kill streaks and all that sort of stuff. I want to go in-depth on the map design because I think the map design in World War II is simple yet detailed and beautiful. I love this map design and I love talking about it because it's one of the best things about Call of Duty, and it's one of the most important things about Call of Duty this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Leave a comment for which map you want me to talk about next, and maybe if you have a specific instance that you want me to talk about, sort of like how I did with the USS Texas. Thank you guys once again, and until the next absolutely beautiful Call of Duty morning, I'll catch up with you guys later. And as always, stay beautiful.